Friends, I'm Ramnikant and you are watching my channel Political Review India. The preliminary report of the AAIB on the AI 171 crash is out. And the way it is worded, many of the analysts are pointing towards a pilot action either deliberate or an error of having cut off the fuel supply to both the engines within an interval of 1 second. I'll quote from the report. The aircraft achieved the maximum recorded airspeed of 180 knots IAS at about 80842 UTC, and immediately thereafter, the engine 1 and engine 2 fuel cutoff switches transitioned from run to cutoff position one after another within a time gap of 1 second. Now, exactly what happens when the pilot puts the switch from run to off position? This is an electronic command and not a direct mechanical link. The electronic engine control part of the full authority digital electron engine control or FEDIC receives the signal from the flight deck switch via the aircraft systems network. FEDIC is responsible for autonomous engine management based on pilot inputs and system conditions. We will be discussing this part about FEDIC in details a bit later. FEDIC commands the engine fuel shutoff valve and the fuel metering units to close. Other actions will be de-energizing the ignition system, closing the bleed valves, and engine is cooling down. Now, if this was a pilot-induced action, then definitely more than a second will be required to first take one switch to cut off fuel position, lock it, and then again cut off the fuel for the other engine. Therefore, this theory of pilot-induced error or one of the pilots having suicidal tendencies is absolutely wrong and insults them in a manner which is really unwarranted or shameful. The report further states the engine N1 and N2 began to decrease from their takeoff values as the fuel supply to the engine was cut off. In the cockpit voice recording, one of the pilots is heard asking the other, "Why did he cut off?" The other pilot responded that he did not do so. Later on, it has been clarified that Captain Sabharwal was asking First Officer Kundar the above question. Obviously, on seeing the fuel pressure and the speeds going down, Captain Sabharwal must have asked First Officer this question. This is an involuntary question every pilot will ask on seeing the engine parameters going down. This doesn't mean that the first officer had cut the fuel to both the engines. The CCTV footage obtained from the airport showed the ram air turbines or the RAT getting deployed during the initial climb immediately after liftoff. Now, the RAT on the 787 is deployed automatically if the following conditions occur, like loss of both AC power sources from the left and right engines, integrated drive generators, loss of all backup electrical power source, including the auxiliary power unit, APU, and the backup generators. That means that the AI 171 flight at the time under consideration had lost all power from IDGs, APU was yet to start, and the aircraft lost the battery power as well. For each engine, there is an equipment known as Full Authority Digital Engine Control or FADIC, which manages engine fuel flow, metering, ignition, and relight functions. FADIC also gives engine protection logic like monitoring the exhaust gas temperature, the N1 and N2 spool speeds, oil pressures and temperatures, and vibration monitors. It further prevents over temperature, over speed, and surge stall conditions. If engine limits are exceeded, FedEx intervenes automatically, for example, reducing fuel flow, opening bleed valves, etc. It further optimizes the engine performance. FedEx selects the appropriate thrust rating mode depending on climb, cruise, or takeoff. FedEx is a dual channel equipment being so critical, and if one channel fails, then the other takes over seamlessly. But if both the channels fail, then the engine will shut down, as the fuel flow and fuel metering to the engine will stop. Now this FedEx can shut down only in case there is no power to it from any source in the aircraft. As we have seen earlier, the deployment of RAD demonstrated that there was no power, electrical or hydraulic in the aircraft. The likely scenario is this: all aircraft electrical system momentarily failed due to battery explosion, circuitry fault, or a spike in the current. This led to depowering of the FedEx. This led to shutdown of the engines, leading to loss of power and thrust to the engines. Probably at this time there was no backup electrical in the aircraft, and that is why the RAD got deployed. With the assistance of RAD power, the engines tried to revive themselves and transitioned from cutoff to run at 080852 UTC and 080856 UTC respectively. The APU also tried to start as stated in the AAIB report, but it was too late, and at 80911 last signal was received from the aircraft. The report looks very perfunctory, and full details of the monitored parameters need to be looked into and made public. Thanks for watching this, and give your comments and suggestions for improvement. Thank you.